Welcome to December 5th, 2025. For each story, you'll get a brief summary of what happened, a note if anything is unverified or contested, and where appropriate, a practical takeaway. Story 1. U.S. military strikes on Eastern Pacific boats. The Pentagon says it destroyed another boat in the Eastern Pacific, killing 4, claiming it carried drugs but offering no evidence. Since September, 22 such strikes have killed at least 87 people. Video shown to Congress this week revealed 2 men clinging to their overturned boat for over 40 minutes before a follow-up strike killed them. The Washington Post reported Defense Secretary Hegseth ordered personnel to kill everybody on the boat. An Inspector General report found Hegseth's sharing of strike information on signal created security risks. Hegseth refused to cooperate with the investigation. Unverified. Drug trafficking claims have no evidence provided. The kill order comes from Post reporting, not official confirmation. Takeaway. When institutions can act lethally, refuse to provide evidence, and then refuse to cooperate with oversight, accountability becomes performative. The practical question is whether any check actually exists or whether classification authority functions as immunity. Story 2. Israeli military operations continue in Gaza. Israeli forces continue strikes in Gaza despite the October 10th ceasefire, with attacks reported in Khan Yunis, Rafah, and near Gaza City. A CNN investigation found Israeli forces fired on starving Palestinians collecting flour at an aid site in June, then bulldozed bodies into unmarked graves. Around 10,000 Palestinians remain missing. The death toll has passed 70,000. Contested. CNN's findings are their investigation. Israel disputes characterizations of its conduct. Takeaway. Ceasefires can serve diplomatic functions separate from ground reality. When tracking any conflict, distinguish between what's announced and what's enforced. Story 3. Eurovision boycott. Public broadcasters in Ireland, Slovenia, the Netherlands, and Spain will boycott Eurovision 2026 after the European Broadcasting Union refused to vote on excluding Israel. Spain's broadcaster president cited genocide in Gaza, saying human rights are not a contest. Takeaway. Cultural institutions are becoming venues where geopolitical positions get contested. Neutrality on polarizing issues is becoming harder to maintain without cost. Story 4. New Jersey military cargo protest. Protesters picketed a Jersey City warehouse that reportedly handles over 1,000 tons of Israel-bound military cargo weekly, including 2,000-pound bombs used in Gaza. Source note. Tonnage figures come from advocacy organizations, not independent verification. Story 5. Supreme Court allows Texas redistricting. The Supreme Court cleared Texas to use a congressional map designed to help Republicans gain up to 5 House seats. A lower court had ruled it unconstitutional for diluting Black and Latino voting power. Justice Kagan's dissent said the decision ensures citizens will be placed in districts because of their race. Takeaway. Procedural rulings often determine substantive outcomes while appearing neutral. The question of whether to grant a stay effectively decided the redistricting question without ruling on it directly. Story 6. Pipe bomb suspect arrested. The FBI arrested Brian Coles of Virginia for allegedly planting pipe bombs near both party headquarters in January 2021, the night before January 6th. Unverified. These are allegations, not convictions. Story 7. Pardoned January 6th participant faces rejailing. The Justice Department wants to rejail Taylor Taranto, a January 6th participant pardoned by Trump, after he appeared near Representative Jamie Raskin's home. Raskin served on the January 6th committee. Security has been increased. Takeaway. Pardons clear past acts but don't prevent future prosecution. Behavior patterns after pardon can create new legal exposure. Story 8. Grand jury rejects Letitia James' indictment again. A federal grand jury declined for the second time to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James on mortgage fraud charges. James called it retaliation. The administration may try a third time. Takeaway. When independent grand juries reject the same case multiple times, that pattern is itself information worth weighing. Story 9. New Orleans immigration crackdown. Activists were ejected from a New Orleans City Council meeting for requesting ICE-free zones on a topic not on the agenda. Border Patrol announced Operation Catahoula Crunch, deploying over 200 agents to make 5,000 arrests over 2 months. Takeaway. If you or people you know could be affected by immigration enforcement, the operational name and timeline are concrete planning information. Story 10. Honduras election dispute. Salvador Nasralla alleged fraud after his rival regained the lead in vote counting. He accused Trump of interference after Trump publicly backed his opponent. An electoral council member called it potentially the least transparent election in Honduras's democratic history. Contested. These are allegations from one side of a disputed election. Story 11. DRC Rwanda deal and Trump health questions. Trump hosted DRC and Rwanda leaders for a peace agreement. The U.S. secured deals for access to rare earth minerals. During the ceremony, Trump appeared to struggle staying awake, continuing a recent pattern. His hand appeared bruised with bandages. Asked about a recent MRI, Trump said he didn't know what was scanned. The White House said results were normal. Unverified. Health speculation remains speculation without disclosure. Takeaway. The mineral access deals may matter more long-term than the peace agreement. DRC rare earth positioning has supply chain implications that outlast administrations. Story 12. Netflix acquires Warner Brothers. Netflix announced it will acquire Warner Brothers Studios and HBO Max for roughly $72 billion in equity value, with enterprise value closer to $83 billion. Netflix gains DC Comics, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, and combines over 300 million subscribers with HBO Max's 128 million. Expected to close late 2026 pending regulatory approval. Takeaway. This level of content and distribution consolidation changes leverage for everyone in the industry. If you work in media, entertainment, or adjacent fields, the negotiating landscape just shifted. Story 13. Starbucks strike arrests. 12 striking Starbucks workers were arrested blocking the Empire State Building entrance where Starbucks has offices. Workers at over 100 stores are on strike. Story 14. Socialists elected in New Jersey. Joel Brooks and Jake Evos became the first socialists elected to public office in New Jersey in over a century, joining Jersey City Council. This follows Zoran Mamdani's election as New York City mayor. Takeaway. The ideological boundaries of electability appear to be shifting in certain urban contexts. Worth noting if you're involved in local politics or tracking where policy windows might open. Story 15. Student sentenced for freeing chickens. Zoe Rosenberg received 90 days jail and owes over $100,000 to Purdue Farms for freeing 4 chickens from a slaughterhouse. Supporters say the chickens were worth $24. Rosenberg cited documented animal cruelty violations at the facility that produced no enforcement action. Takeaway. The gap between documented violations and enforcement versus the swift consequences for those who act on those violations reveals where institutional protection actually flows. Story 16. National Parks fee changes. The administration ended free park admission on Juneteenth and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Parks will instead waive fees on June 14th, Trump's birthday. Those are today's stories.